Hey YouTube, how you doing? This is Renaissance Man, and today we're going to spend a little bit of time of programming the Wouxun dual band HT manually. We're also going to go through some of its functions and capabilities. So before we get started with programming, let's go through some of the capabilities that this radio has, and we'll go through each of the menu items so that you can get better familiarized with how it works. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go to menu 1, and that's menu 1 is your step. Now your step is the distance between frequencies. Okay, so you can set this for 5 kilohertz, 6 1/4, 10 kilohertz, 12.5 kilohertz, 25, 50, 100K. Okay, now what this basically means is the step is when you are in the scanning. Okay, so if we start scanning, as you can see, the step is how many steps in between each multiple of 5,000ths here. So the smaller that you have the step, the longer it's going to take to scan through these frequencies. So you saw that was a 5 kilohertz step, so we're just going to go ahead and change this now, and we'll make it 12.5. Okay. Now you can see how much faster we're scanning through. However, it's only going to stop on multiples of 12.5 kilohertz. So for the purposes of scanning or looking for things with these radios, what I like to do is I like to have it set at, I like to keep it at 5 kilohertz. Okay, so all I did was I did menu, there's item 1, menu again. You can adjust it either with the rotary knob on the top right here, or you can adjust it with the arrow keys here. Whichever works for you is okay with you, I guess. And then to get out of the menu, it'll time out. Okay, or if you want to get out of the menu routine a little bit faster, you could just hit push to talk, which is the push the talk button here on the side. There, that gets you out faster. So let's see here. I'll zoom in a little bit tighter. And you'll have to pardon me, it's getting really sunny out here. So now let's take a look at the next item in the menu sequence. Okay, that's your squelch. Okay, so your squelch level is basically, if it's at 0, you're going to hear everything on that frequency. Okay, if it's at 9, it will take a very strong signal to break the receive in order for you to hear it. So what I recommend is you set your squelch level at about 4 or 5. Okay, depending on where you're at and how much radio traffic you have in your area. The next menu item is going to be save. Now what this is this is basically a battery save in the radio. I keep mine off. Okay, your next item in the menu is menu 4. That's your transmit power. Okay, you got high, low. Now the only thing you probably want to use this for is if you are, let's say, let's say if you were using the radio for GMRS or FRS use, that's probably when you want to go into a low power, or if you're extremely close to a repeater and you can conserve some battery power by going down to low. Next item is 5. That's basically Roger beep. All that does is you would use this if you were using these radios for a commercial purpose, or if you were using the radios for FRS, GMRS. Basically, as you scroll through here, you've got BOT, which is beginning of transmission, EOT, which is end of transmission, or both. So when you key up, it'll beep beep, and then at the end of your transmission, it'll beep beep. Okay, again, not something a ham radio operator is probably going to make use of. Just my opinion. I have not heard Roger beeps on the repeaters, so that's all that does. Okay, next item is your timeout timer. Okay, now basically what this thing will do is it'll limit you to how long you can transmit in one segment. So it's in seconds, so you got 15 seconds and you go all the way up to 600 seconds. I don't like to be limited, so I keep it at 600. Vox. Okay, Vox is voice activated transmit. Okay, and each one of these steps here is the amount that it's going to allow the radio to pick up your voice. Okay, so the lower the number, the easier it's going to be to pick up your voice. Obviously, the higher the number, it's going to take more sound volume to open it up. You'll probably never use the Vox. Okay, wide, narrow. This is a very important one. This is menu 8. Okay, very important. This is actually wide, narrow is your deviation. Okay, wide, narrow. Wide means you're going to have louder audio, meaning your voice is going to transmit over a wider portion of that frequency. Narrow is going to be a little more narrower as far as on either side, or right on that frequency, and then either side it's going to be very tight. So it's going to be lower audio on somebody listening to you at the other end. So what you want to do is keep this on wide. Okay, menu 8, keep it on wide. Next item, voice. That's just basically a little thing inside that it talks to you as you go through different things. So you got Chinese and you got English. Okay. Okay, TOA. So let's open up the book and we'll go to what TOA is. And there's your squelch. Okay. TOA. This is basically it says, this alarm is the pre-alert time when the transmitting time is nearly up. Okay, so if you were using the timeout timer, then this little thing here gives you a little beep thing, a little indicator to let you know you're getting close to your timeout. So that's all menu 10 does. Again, something you're probably not going to be using. Menu, okay, beep is basically, if you turn it off, you press a key, it won't beep anymore. I like having the beep on, so I know that it's accepting my inputs. So menu 11, beep on. Next one. This is power on message. Okay, now this is when you first power the radio up. I have mine set to battery voltage. Okay, that tells me the condition of the battery when I power up the radio. You can also have nothing. You can have some kind of personal message there if you want. So just to show you, that's menu 12. and then if I turn the radio off and back on, there you go, bat 7.5 volts. So that tells me the condition of the battery, the charge on the battery right now. Next item. Okay, busy channel lockout. Okay, so if you were in the channel mode and there was something that you wanted to, this is kind of like the lockout feature on a scanner. So if there was some transmission there and you didn't want to hear it, or if you didn't want to have to listen to it while you're scanning, you would just use this item right here, menu 13, busy channel lockout. Okay, auto lock. Okay, so let's see what the manual says what this is. And I think what this means is that after you use the radio, within 15 seconds, the radio will go ahead and lock so that you don't change any settings. Again, menu 14, something you're probably not going to be using. I don't use it. Next, RCTC. Okay, what that basically means is you're going to receive, the radio is going to be able to receive a tone. Okay, so if you have repeaters in your area that only use that broadcast a 131.8 tone, then the radio will only open up if it hears that 131.8 tone, and that is also tied to another menu function. I'll show it to you later. Also, you're going to need that when you're manually programming, and I'll show you that too shortly. Transmit CTC, that's the opposite. That's what the radio, the code, the PL tone that the radio is going to send out in order to access a repeater, and I'll show you that in a second. DCS is basically another type of lock tone. So there are machines out there that are using the digital code. So you have receive, and then you have transmit DCS. Okay, this is your scan mode. Okay, basically I leave mine on CO. Okay, because what it does is if it comes across something, I want to hear it, and then after I hear it, it'll hang on that for a few seconds, and then continue to scan. Now, obviously, if you put it on if you were to put it on SE, that means it's probably just going to stop on something, and then it's not going to delay. It's not going to wait. Okay. And then if you put it on TO, that means it's strictly time. It's going to hold on a transmission, and it won't go back into the scan routine. So menu 19, I keep it on CO. Okay, PF1, this is your little button right here. Okay, and so you've got this button here, which goes to radio. Okay, your FM radio. Or you can set it to do other things. You can set it for to scan. Okay, or you can set it to the light, or you can do SOS, which blurts out a little alert. You know, so like if, for instance, like a little alarm. So we'll set it real quick. Okay. There you go. So there's a little alarm right there. Okay, so you're probably just going to keep this on radio. Okay, menu 20, radio. Now this is the actual mode of the radio. Okay, what the mode it's in right now is VFO mode, which means you can tune frequencies. You can directly go to a certain frequency. So it's like a it's kind of like the rotary knob on a radio. So you can just turn it, and you can hear everything that's going, going right by there. That's what VFO mode is. Then of course it has the channel mode, which basically puts it in the mode of your memory presets. So if you're programming the radio, you probably want to have it in the freak mode. Okay. So now next is ABR. Okay, that's basically the backlight, on or off. Menu 22 is your backlight. Offset, very important. If you're going to access repeaters, obviously the standard offset for 2 meters is 0.6. So you can see we're here on the top portion, which is the 2 meter, okay, 146 megahertz. So that offset should be 0.6. If we were to go to the 440 band, or the 70 centimeter band, which is down there, then that offset should be 5 megahertz. And there you go, 5.000. Okay, so that offset is important, because that's how you're going to access a repeater. So now we'll go back to here, and then we'll go back to menu. Shift direction. Okay, again, with the offset, you need to tell the, you need to program the radio which way it's going to be. Okay, if it's if it's a GMRS repeater at 462 megahertz, then you're going to go up plus 5 megahertz to access to get into the input of the repeater. Okay, so shift direction is plus, minus, or off. Okay. Second, let's see what the book says about this. Okay, that's basically a stopwatch timer. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't really serve any purpose to me. Okay. Next item, channel name. Okay, so after you, I'm going to show you here in a few minutes how to program a repeater, and then we're going to name it. Okay, and then what memory slot you're going to put it into. Okay, this radio has 128 memories in it. Then you can delete a memory slot. And then this right here is something you definitely want to stay away from if you have to. This is basically to reset your, you can reset your VFO settings, or you can reset all of your memory settings. You can basically reset the whole radio, and that'll wipe out your programming. So don't mess around with that, menu 29. Okay, only unless you have to reset everything. Now scan CD. Basically all this is you can go, let me show you real quick. You can go to the other menu item, which is RCTC. Okay, menu 16. Okay, and let's say you want 67 cycles, and then you want to go back to the last menu item. Okay, and it's set to CTC, yes. Okay, and then when you scan, the only time the receiver is going to open up is if it hears something transmitting with that 67 PL tone. So this is nice for hunting repeaters. So if your area, and you'll find out that geographically speaking, lock tones, PL tones, are basically common, in a particular area. You'll see a lot of like 131.8s, and then you'll see like 91s, 123s. So this is a good thing to have if you really want to hunt down repeaters. Now let's actually get to doing a program here. Okay. So what we're going to do is, I got my little sheet of repeaters, okay, with the shift direction, the output of the repeater, and the lock tone. Okay, so we're just going to program in this one here, the 610, and I'll show you how easy this is. What we're going to do is we have the radio in the VFO mode, obviously. So we're going to go ahead and just we're going to do a 2-meter repeater. So we're just going to concentrate on using this top half right here. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at the output of the repeater, and the output of the repeater is 146610. So we're going to go 146610. That's the output of that repeater. Okay. Now, if we look at our programming, we first want to go and see what the shift direction is, and that shift direction is a minus. Okay, so we're going to go in here and we're going to scroll down to menu 24, shift direction, menu, lock it in, and now it's going to be a minus. Okay, and then the next thing that we're going to need to open up that repeater is the lock tone. The lock tone is 88.5. Tone is right here, TCTC, menu 16. 88.5. Okay, so we got our lock tone set in 88.5. We have the shift direction, which is minus. So now we're going to go ahead and key up the radio and kerchunk this repeater. There you go. Okay. Now, the other thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your receive is, if the machine, sometimes repeaters are capable of also sending out that same lock tone, so all you hear is that repeater. Okay? Or what I suggest you do is, until you actually learn what the repeaters do in your area, set that to off. Receive CTC off. Okay? So that you're only transmitting the tone and you're opening the repeater and you're going to hear what that repeater does. There you go. Okay? So, you need to have, to program a repeater, obviously you need to know what the output of that repeater is, the shift direction. Of course, the offset is always the same on 2 meters. It's going to be 0.6, and on 70 centimeter, which is 440, it's going to be 5 megahertz. And then of course you're going to have to put the lock tone in. Now what you could do is you could take this and go menu, and we're going to scroll to the memory. Okay, so mem, and then the one that's available is going to be the one that doesn't have the dash, like there. Okay, so 21 is open. Alright, so we're just going to go hit menu again, and now that's in 21. And then we're going to go into channel name, or no, we're going to go to menu 21, and we're going to put it in the channel freak mode. Okay, and we're going to go down to, we're going to go to 21. So if you want to get there quickly, 0, 2, 1. There's the machine we just put in, and then we're just going to name it menu, channel name, and then we're just going to scroll through and use the arrow keys to get different characters. Okay. To get to the next one, you hit the menu button. So we're going to put this as the 610. Menu. I'm sorry, menu is not the right one. There's the rotary knob here. Good. So that changes everything right there, and then it goes to the next one. So once you have it, once you have it programmed into a memory slot, now you can access that at all times. And then you can put the mode, which is menu 21, and that's one of the important ones you're going to have to memorize. And you can put it in the name mode, and there you go. I named it 6. Okay, so now we're in the name mode, and now when we hit scan, we're only going to scan the stuff that we programmed in. There you go. So that's how you manually program the Wouxun dual band HT. Obviously, you got the button here that turns on the radio, the button here that turns on the flashlight, and that should help you out in manually setting up this radio. So thanks for watching. This is Renaissance Man. I'll talk to you later.